I'm the worst football manager ever, and good morning. Welcome to this next episode of the Sutton Scramble. It's not morning, is it? Well, it's morning for me, but it might not be morning for you because you might be watching this at any time of day. But it is morning for me. I've got my coffee, so give me a break. All the people in the afternoon right now. If it's post 10 a.m. right now where you are, then give morning Ben a break. I still feel tired from taking the open top bus around Sutton United. Do you know what I mean? Not just around Sutton United, around the town of Sutton, the area of London in Sutton. Give me some time. Give me some time. I'm just resting. I just need to rest my eyes. This whole video could literally just be me sleeping. That feels so nice. That feels so good. I wonder if I can close my eyes and drink coffee at the same time. Anyway, what today's video about is just a brief one to show how things are going, how things went at the end of the season, some of the ins and the outs, and some of how the Premiership's doing, and all that kind of malarkey. How we're looking financially. That's going to be a really awkward bit. And just to generally hype people up about the beginning of the new season. Why not, eh? Why not? Okay, so let's go through some of the awards and some of the stats from last year, shall we? From this last season just gone, just so you're aware, just if you're interested. Some of you I know are statisticians or statistical people, statos. So here we have our top goal scorer last year was Karel Kiyembe with 24 goals. And if you look at the previous year, we had Aidan Austin, who's now still at Torquay, who is Torquay, by the way, in the Vanarama National. Tried to get Aidan Austin back, they weren't having any of it. Next one is top league goal scorer, and that was obviously Karel Kiyembe as well with 16. Very nice stuff. Most goals in a match was Dan the man himself. That 7-1 win against Wealdstone when he got a hat trick against them. Oh, don't you just remember that? Wasn't that just beautiful? In terms of assists, Hamad Luau got 14 assists, and I thought he was going to get Player of the Year, but we'll get to that in a minute. Highest average rating this year was Archie Thomas with the 7.7 rating after 27 appearances, which is fascinating really, because when you then also go on to, we'll get to worst discipline in a minute, and he features again. But the most players at the match was Karel Kiyembe with 6 man of the matches, and as I said, worst discipline, 23 yellow cards with Archie Davis. That is nearly double Schumacher from the last season. Youngest player was DeMarco Radcliffe on that last game of the season when I just put out a whole bunch of random players really. DeMarco Radcliffe still plays for me today, 18 years old now. He might begin to feature a little bit more, not quite in the first team just yet, but we'll see about him. Our oldest player was of course Steven Schumacher, who again is still in the squad. Whether he'll feature so much this season, I'm not so sure about that one. Youngest goal scorer was Spencer Johnson on loan, our loan player from Chelsea or Oxford, I think it was. But he's now been snapped up by Northampton, so he's gone on to a different club anyway, so we won't be seeing much of him this season anymore. Oldest goal scorer was Steven Schumacher, and here we go, Fans Player of the Year was Archie Davis. After all that, after 23 yellow cards, Archie Davis still gets Player of the Year. And as you can imagine, I've tried all I can to keep him, and as you can see here, I have still got him, which is great for this next season. Then lastly, just out of interest, our fastest goal ever was 1 minute 15 last season with Karel Kiyembe against Hayes. As you can see here, 2016-17, Theo Lewis scored a goal in 9 seconds. 9 seconds! How is that even physically possible? So anyway, that was the facts and the figures, and let's move on now to the finances, which as you can see here is just quite frankly not looking great. We're not going to spend too much time on this just because it's quite miserable really, but my overall balance, I'm just over 300,000 overdrawn in the red. It's not looking great at the moment. I'm making a loss every month, which again is not great. You can see here the wage budget just above my head, currently spending 8,000 a week, and the committed spending is 8,000 a week, and the wage budget is actually 9.7 thousand. So actually I'm below my wage budget, which is ultimately what I've got control of. I've got a bit of transfer budget there just because I've actually shifted it. So what I can do, which is what I'm going to do now, because I'm not going to make any transfers in the meantime, is take that wage budget to even higher and taking the transfer budget down. So now you can see, look, my actual wage budget is £9,828, which is actually pretty good, and I'm not going overspending it. So I'm not overspending here. I'm not the one to blame here. You can blame me all I want, but I'm not the one to blame. Okay, so now let's get on to the thing that really what most people want to see. Of course, it's the ins and the outs. The innies and the outies, kind of like belly buttons. Are you an innie or an outie? Let's do a question for today, shall we? Let's do a question of the day. Have you got an innie or an outie? Now, I'm sure you're expecting me to stand up and show you my innie. I can tell you I'm not going to do that right now. I've got such a hairy mess on my chest, you wouldn't even be able to see my belly button because of all the fur. Anyway, on with the transfers, and as you can see here, crikey, that left list looks very long, doesn't it? There are all the people that are in, and here are all the people that are out. So let's start with the outs, the outies. I think there are more people with innie belly buttons anyway. That's after my extensive research into it. So anyway, let's look at the outs. So firstly, Nathan Arnold didn't want to stay with me, wasn't happy at all, so he left, and basically when his contract ran out, I was just like, get rid of him, just release him. So see you later, Nathan. This is probably what I would say one of the worst losses for me. Corey Blackett-Taylor, I just simply couldn't afford him. I tried to get him a decent contract, couldn't afford him. He's wanted by 4 clubs here: Stevenage, Crawley, Lincoln, Port Vale. That's good because they're the only sort of clubs that are going to be able to afford him, a League 2 side. I hope he gets a good club because he is a good player. Look, he's got some great attributes about him. He played really well for me last season, so it's sad to see him go. His average rating was 7.08. Oh, it's like another decent winger. First it's Aidan Austin, now Corey Blackett-Taylor, and then probably the biggest loss for us was Wes Harding, who's gone to TNS, and he's just been forever present for us. Okay, next on the list is Emmanuel Mbende. We've lost another centre back, the Cameroonian. Is that right? Oh yeah, look, Cameroonian. There you go. It even says it there, Cameroonian. We lost him on a free because he wasn't on a decent contract, and so I'm losing all these decent players and not getting any money for them. And then the last few to let you know about are all youth players. Clement Quarry did play a few youth games for me. He didn't start for me in the starting 11. Another one, Alan Dixon, also has gone, just 16 years old, wasn't really showing me that he was improving or his potential wasn't going up at all, so I thought, see you later, mate. And then we've just sent out Bilal Tasco, who is 17 years old. He looks like he's quite promising, so he's only out on loan, but I think he could be quite good in the future. Okay, and with that in mind, with what in mind? I don't know why I said with that in mind, with what you've got for dinner in mind. Let's look at something completely unrelated. I've put a pen in my hand and slash in my mouth right now because this is my thinking pose, because I want to stay up this year in the Vanarama Nationals. So I've brought in a bunch of players that I think will help me stay up. Let me show you them while I chew on my pen and think a bit more. So, firstly, there are 5 players who got released from decent clubs that I want to show you, who I just snapped up pretty much without even knowing what they're like, because I think they look pretty good. First one here is Jordan Bradbury, 19 years old, has been released from Tottenham. You can see in his attributes here, doesn't look bad at all. He's a striker. His finishing isn't very good as a striker. I've got better strikers in honesty right now, but look at his physicals, look at his determination and his flair there, look at his heading, not bad. So we'll see what comes of him. Sean Kaplan, 18 years old, and he has been brought in from Derby because Derby released him. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to get him anyway, see how this goes. Attributes for him is another striker. Finishing is 14, which is very nice. Determination 16. Leadership and off the ball are reasonably high. We'll see. We'll just see how he goes. Elliot Barden is the next guy, and this guy might be helpful because he's a right back, which I'm quite short on left and right backs at the moment. We'll get onto that a little bit later. But he was again released from Tottenham. You can see here that he can play as a defender or a wing back. His physicals are looking very good, which is good for this era. He's very aggressive, so he'll probably be battling against Archie Davis for the most, all that. But teamwork's high, and he's got a lot of 8s and 9s, so we'll see what he looks like. Alex Maxted, and who has a very small face. That is a very... He's not going to be the ball is going to head him. But this fella here got released from Leicester, and yeah, he looks all right. Let me guess, he's a central defender who I do need some central defenders. Looks reasonably okay in his physicals, not amazing. Decisions are high, determination's high, positions are high. So his mentals are quite good, which shows a bit of maturity for an 18-year-old. And the final one is Danny Murray, who this one I think is probably one of the best players we've got out of this 5. Central defender. I think he might even start playing in the first team reasonably early. He's been released from Chelsea. You can see his attributes here. Physicals are great. His work rate is very high. Teamwork is good. Leadership is good. Marking, tackling and heading, 3 of the classic defending attributes are high. So I'm like, hello mate, you can, and he looks mean. Okay, and then on to some other players who I'm going to whip through now. We've got John Hawkes on loan, this defensive midfielder / kind of defender who probably be a backup defender for me. Lee Cox, Lee Cox. Remember this name, Lee Cox, 29,500. I picked him up on a free from Yeovil, as in Yeovil, League 2 Yeovil, who's come down 2 divisions to be with... No, he hasn't. He's come down 1 because I'm in the Vanarama National now. The central midfielder he'll be playing looks solid, mate. Absolutely solid. Good physicals. Look at his mentals are very good here. First touch, marking, tackling, all good. All good. Very good here. Very happy. Okay, and as I said, I've got some issues with wingers at the minute, and one of my solutions is this guy here, Thomas McClune. Got him on a free, previously played for Boston in the Vanarama North, but I've sort of brought him up into this one. I actually did play I said got him on a free. I didn't get him on a free. I paid money for him. Isn't that bad, isn't it? I've paid money for someone. Oh, and he's not even the best player. Oh, let me show you his attributes here. Doesn't really look like he's worth money. I know. Swiftly on to the next player. Declan Weeks is a midfielder, central midfielder from Wales. He is from Wolves. You've got a background in Wolves. Any Wolves fans? You might know of this fella here. Then he moved to Tamworth on a free, played 28 games last season, 7.21 rating, very good, real high work rate, which is what I want in my players. And now he's moved to me, which is nice. All this here that he's good at, look, composure, decisions, leadership off the ball, position, teamwork, vision and work rate. I think he's going to be a real key player just because of his level of kind of mental ability, with a bunch of idiots behind him, bunch of fools behind him that have no empty between the ears. And he's there, Declan Weeks, standing strong. Okay, the next player I want to show is Kyle Gruno, great defender in the centre, American fella, 20 years old. I've got him from Tamworth as well, but he was previously in Leicester. So we'll see. So Tamworth based, I'm stealing all their decent players. But again, he looks great. Look at this. Just take a little, press the pause button and take a little look. He looks great. Okay, and then we've got Veal Mullane back. All a bit weird over pre-season. Veal was like, I don't want to sign another loan deal. I'm not coming back to you. So he left. And then about a month later, I tried to get him again. And he was like, all right. So I've got him back. Philippe Moret. Maybe you know this guy. Philippe Moret. This guy has had a history. Look at his history. Look at his past. He spent some time in Chelsea, MK Dons, Millwall, and then he's moved up to Scotland for a while. Any Scottish Premiership fans then will know that he played for Hibernian and for Inverness. He even played for St Johnstone for his season. Then he's come back down to England. Oldham, Stevenage, Bradford City. He's played in it. He's played in them all. Pretty much every league he's played in. And now he plays for me and is a scout as well. Old fella, winger really, but look at these beautiful stats. Look at them. Cast your eyes upon these stats. Sure, he's 33 years old and he's a bit older and he's not as fast as he used to be, but look at these stats. We've got this fella, Topi Obadayi. Topi Obadayi. I'm changing his name to Topi. His name is Topi. It's okay, but I'm going to write it in my own way. I'm giving him the nickname Topi. If your name is Toppy, I'm sorry, but this just helps me say it without thinking about Toppy. His nickname, Toppy, 29 years old, winger. I think he's going to be doing pretty well for me. I think he'll probably be a bit of a backup winger now with Veal Mullane coming back and stuff like that, but can play up front as well. You can see here he's played two appearances in the friendlies for me, and you can't see here his average rating, which is 7.32. Cheers, Toppy. Looking forward to working with you, mate. And then this fella here, picture of the day, everyone, picture of the day. Look at this man here, Freddie Grant, with the hair that could kill, here waving in the wind. He's like a L'Oreal advert. Freddie Grant, defender left, midfielder left, centre. I think he's going to be handy as a backup for me right now, but could begin to play more as time went on. Physicals are alright, mentals are alright, hair is perfect. And then lastly, an interesting one, right? Do you remember when I was playing as Gosport manager? If you haven't seen the Gosport Gamble, then I thoroughly recommend it. When I played as Gosport, I loaned out this player called Hubert Adamczyk, or Adamczyk. I don't know how you say it. But anyway, it's a Polish guy. I loaned him out from Western-super-Mare. No, I didn't. Loaned him out from Chelsea, that's right. Loaned him out from Chelsea as Gosport. He played quite a few games for me as a winger. I don't know do you remember him? Let's see if I can dig out a bit of footage right now. Sheriff, can he play it out wide to Kelly Ugar? There's Kelly Ugar! Oh! Are you there? Adamczyk on his debut. The fans love him already. We're 3-0 up. We're 3-0 up. So this is him right here. Winger, good physicals. He was 18 years old when I loaned him. He's now 21 years old and he's grown up a little bit, as we could say. Dribbling's now 10, corners at 9. He's beginning to sort of push up to the 10-11. I got him on a free, took him on a trial over pre-season. I thought he was pretty good, so I got him on a free, and he's now worth 13k. So I'm pretty happy about that. So if we were to look at my squad and put them in order of ability now, look at the top 5 players we've got. Robbie McDade, striker, Hubert Adamsik, who I mentioned, Lee Cox, Hamad Lawal, Ben Kiddet, Dan Murray. That's that young star, the defender youngster. He is one of my top players here. Vil Malainen as well. These players all looking pretty good. Declan Weeks also looking like he's got a 5-star potential at the moment, which is amazing. So looking at this, I'm generally feeling pretty excited, to say the least. And so all that really kind of is left to say is my expectations for this season, which is I've got to avoid relegation in the Vanarama National League. They're saying that they want me to get into the first round of the FA Cup. There's a plan, and also the second round of the FA Trophy. Let's see if I can do it. I'd like to try to not get relegated straight away. I'd be really happy if we don't get relegated. Would be really happy if we get mid-table. That would be epic stuff. And then we can then build to get promoted the next. Come on Sutton, it'll be amazing. But before I go, just want to show you the Premier League to show you how that has been going and all that's been doing and all that happened there. So here you can see the Premier League and the teams that are in the Premier League, but let's look at the previous years, shall we? So as you can see here, since I've started this save, Chelsea are basically dominating English football at the moment. They've won it out of the last 4 years, well, first 5 years they've won it 4 times. Arsenal snuck in on the 16-17 season. This last year just gone, Arsenal runner-up, third place Man U, Tottenham runner-up on the 17-18 season. So yeah, that's basically where we were at. So that basically brings us to an end of this video. Thanks so much for joining me this morning. I feel like it's woken me up. I feel like I'm now awake, ready to go for this new season. My first game is going to be against Kidderminster, which you will be able to watch in the next video, so make sure you tune in for that. My media prediction is 17th place. That is out of the relegation zone, and I would be very happy with 17th place. As we head into this new season together, leave some comments below to let me know what you think of the new squad. Do you think that those players are any good? Do you think they're going to be good enough? Do you think I've had no chance and I'm going to be relegated? I want to hear from you down below in the comments. Also, if you don't follow me already, then go onto Twitter at WorstFManager and you can follow me there. And also, I'm on Twitch at Worst Football Manager Ever. So you can follow me on Twitch, where occasionally I'll stream playing Football Manager live as well. But until next time, when we kick off this new season, it's a new time, new focus, new goal. Not like squad goals, but it will be squad goals. Hopefully loads of goals as well. As in like physical goals, squad goals. And goals of getting to certain places. Shut up, Ben. Shut up, Ben. Until next time, I'll see you later.